Hi there, welcome to Gong Show Garage. Today we've got Badass Brad and Fury Rod Jansonius is the main beef jerky maker. He's made beef jerky for us several times, and a few people have asked for his recipe. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually film him making it today. It's going to be a couple of steps process. So I'm going to let Rod take over and explain it to you. So go ahead, Rod.
All right, so thank you, Mo and Gong Show Garage for having me here today. So this recipe goes back to my brother in Trail. So he kind of showed me how to do a recipe back probably 25 years ago. So very simple, not a lot of ingredients, and we've already cut up one of the roasts here. So really just find your cheapest meat you can find. I went to our local grocery store today, found this roast on sale, so I just went with it. So the brine and everything's going to make it all nice and tender anyway. So we do some other recipes that we can buy at Cabela's and different places, wholesale, and this one is just something from scratch, so it's nice and easy and takes about 20 minutes. So we've been cutting the meat about this thick, so you can go thinner, you can go thicker, whatever you want to do. I'm going a little bit thicker this time because we got a ton of meat, and I only got 4 trays in my Bradley smoker, so I got to make sure that I can get everything into the smoker, so I'm going a little bit thicker. So try out different consistencies the way you want to do it, and really I'm just cutting pieces. You can cut them in half then if you want to go a little bit smaller, whatever you like, kind of thing. And then I'll just finish cutting this up, and then I'll show you the simple recipe. It's just 2 cups of brown sugar, a good 1/3 cup of your kosher salt, so non-iodized salt. We're going to go with some pepper, top it off with some honey, and a ton of garlic powder. So,
garlic.
And we're going to throw some seasoning salt in it too. I'll show you what I throw in first, because the most important recipe part of it is going to be your salt, to make sure that you get a brine on there so it can last you a week or 2. But if it's here, it's probably going to last about 2 or 3 days, so you don't really have to worry about it too much. But that kind of does your cooking in the fridge for a couple days. So we'll just finish cutting this up, and then we'll come back and show you the ingredients.
Can I ask a dumb question? You said about the salt.
Yeah, non-iodized salt.
What's the difference?
Same one that I use for when I do my salmon recipes, that sort of thing.
Okay.
So it's exactly the same thing. It's just a coarse crystal salt that I use, and I went a little bit more than a 1/3 cup because I'm probably sitting about 5-6 pounds of meat. So typically I do a little bit less, so I just went a little bit harder on the salt kind of thing. So we'll show you how we mix that up in a bit.
Might be a little bit of a longer video, but at least people get to see exactly how it's done.
All right.
It's not done with smoke and mirrors.
Nope. Take your honey. Honey.
Oh, I know. I said you said no.
No lots. This is kind of the seal on there. You can start to see it gets nice and wet.
Oh.
And all your garlic and pepper all mixing in now. Alright, hit her hard. Keep going. Beautiful. That's good. That's it. Grab that Ziploc bag. Open her up. This is where my wife gives me grief because I try to put the whole thing in at once, and it makes a mess. So for my wife's sake, I'll just do it in parts.
Oh, that looks so awesome.
Boom. Turns out to be like that. 2-3 days in the fridge. Put it in your smoker. Done. Meat's in the Ziploc bag now, so it's sealed. So every 12 hours in the fridge, I would just flip it over. rub it a little bit, and then your juices will drop down. 12 hours later, you can flip it again, kind of thing. So we're gonna leave that for 2 or 3 days.
2 or 3 days?
Today's Thursday, so come back Sunday and we'll smoke it Sunday. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So probably 3 days. I like longer than I think most recipes that I've seen. You can do them as short as 8 hours, 24 hours, but I like a 3 days. So 3 days later we'll do it up. So just talk real quick on the pucks. This is a whiskey oak one. My favorite is mesquite. I don't have any mesquite left, so I brought this whiskey oak over. And it just comes in sleeves. Every puck approximately you get about 20 minutes smoke time, so every 3 you got an hour. Probably going to smoke this for about 5 hours. Probably use a dozen, 13 pucks kind of thing.
So on an average smoke, it's about 13 pucks?
Yeah, probably 10 or 12 pucks kind of thing, depending on...
What's the cost on the pucks?
A box like this, I got a good deal from a family member on it, but you're looking at about 18 bucks for this box right here, and I can probably get 3 or 4 smokes out of it, kind of thing, depending if you're doing salmon or jerky. So really, you just stack your pucks up in here on how long you want to do it. You preheat your smoker. I like 150 degrees is where I get it to. Gives you a little gauge on the front here. And what I'll do, I'll get it to 150, make sure it's all happy and everything, and then I'll throw my 4 trays in there. Big key thing with the Bradley, this vent here is open right now. It has to be open when you're smoking. You never want to have it closed. That'd be a bad thing. So
Why is that?
you're gonna have way too much heat in there, and your smoke has to dissipate. It can't just sit in there. It's gonna start to soot and everything else. So you always want to make sure your vent's open at least a little bit. So we're gonna get our temperature set around 150 degrees. There's a little temperature gauge on there I can show you. Takes about 20 minutes, 25 minutes to get to 150, and then you got to kind of just play with this dial a bit so it just stays there. As soon as you open the door up, it drops down, but then it'll slowly go back up again. First time, you just hit your biscuit advance, your puck advance, and it feeds one out. And you'll see in here what'll happen. This is your burning area right here. And then after 20 minutes, 25 minutes, the next one will feed out, and it'll drop into here. And this has to have water in it. And a lot of times it's kind of asher and it's kind of not cooked all the way or burnt all the way, but that's just the way it goes. And then that'll fill up about 4 or 5 hours. You got to take it out and dump it out, kind of thing. But they automatically feed in there. It's a no-brainer. It's not like your Little Chief and Big Chiefs where you used to have to take your pot out, empty it, fill it up again. This thing's all self-feeding and makes life really easy. So you got your drip tray right here, and then I got my 4 shelves that I run with. So, and we got enough meat. These 4 shelves are going to be packed.
Awesome.
So yeah, you betcha. Other than that, we'll see you in about 3 days. We'll do part 2, and then we'll get it smoking and rocking and rolling. So